Hi everyone, I'm Aria from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new design, the Dawn Mist blanket from Animism series. This blanket is divided into 3 parts. Motifs. Sewing together. And crocheting the edging. First, crochet the motifs. Starting with motif 1. Motif 3. Motif 4. Motif 5 and motif 6. After completing all motifs, sew them together. Finally, crochet the edging. Let's start with motif 1. Use the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Several crochet stitches will be applicated, all marked on the chart. I won't list them all here. Watch my demonstration of the crocheting method. Take the corresponding yarn. The swatch uses cotton yarn for demonstration. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. First, cast on with the chain ring method. Hold the yarn with left hand. Hold the hook with right hand. Start by making a slip knot. This knot does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten. Chain 6. Then work a slip stitch into the front loop of the first chain stitch. Slip stitch. Oval-shaped slip stitch does not need to be pulled tight. This forms a circle. Casting on is complete. Begin the first round. Chain 3 as the beginning chain for double crochet. This counts as 1 double crochet, then work 15 double crochets into the foundation chain space. Weave in the starting yarn tail as you go along. After completing, work a slip stitch into the top of the turning chain. Pick up both strands of the top chain stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Tighten it to avoid extra stitches later. The first round is complete. Cut off any remaining yarn tails. We'll use the side with clearer texture as the right side of the piece. Continue crocheting round 2. Make 3 beginning chains, corresponding to the beginning chain of the previous round. Then chain 1 as a transition. On the left side double crochet, work 1 double crochet, mindful that the stitches are slightly puckered. Don't insert into the wrong position. Continue with 1 chain. Work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. One chain. From this round onward, pick up stitches correspondingly to make double crochets. Between double crochets, always chain 1 as a transition. Continue to crochet the entire round. After completing the last double crochet, join with a single crochet into the beginning chain. Pay attention to find the third chain stitch from bottom to top. Pick up these 2 strands to insert the hook and crochet. The second round is complete. Now crochet the third round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Next, into the chain space of the previous round. Work 3 double crochets. Complete this round. After finishing the last chain space, work 2 double crochets into the starting chain space. Finally, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. The third round is complete. Move on to the fourth round. First, into the gap on the left side of the beginning chain of the previous round, work 1 slip stitch. Gently tighten slightly. Chain 1. As the turning chain for single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch, work another single crochet in the same position. Chain 3. Skip 3 double crochets on the left side. Work 1 single crochet into the stitch gap. Chain 3. Pick up the gap with 3 stitches skipped below. Correspondingly make single crochets. Chain 3 between them. Work a total of 3 single crochets. After completion, chain 9. Consider the stitches after the turning chain as a group. Repeat this group's crochet technique below. Finish this round. Pay attention to adjacent groups beginning and ending single crochets. Work them into the same gap. The last group's ending single crochet. Work into the starting gap. Chain 4. On the starting single crochet stitch, work 1 FPDTR, yarn over 3 times. Insert the hook into the stitch. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 4 times. The double treble crochet is completed. The 4th round is done. Move on to the 5th round. Chain 3 as beginning chains. Pick up the double treble crochet underneath. Work 5 double crochets. Skip the chain space on the left side. Make 1 single crochet in this single crochet stitch. Work 4 double crochets in the next chain space. Chain 1. Work 4 double crochets in the adjacent chain space. Make 1 single crochet in the left single crochet stitch. We consider these 2 single crochets and the stitches between them as one side of this round. Next, work 6 double crochets in the 9 chain spaces on the left side. Chain 3 and 6 double crochets. We consider the stitches worked in this chain space as one corner of this round. Next, follow this edge and corner technique to complete this round. After finishing the last side, work 6 double crochets in the starting chain space. Chain 1. Finally, make a half double crochet to join in the beginning chain. Complete this corner. The 5th round is completed. Now work the 6th round. Make 1 chain to start. Work 1 single crochet in the chain space below. Chain 5. Starting with the left side single crochets. Work 1 double crochet. Chain 3. Work 1 single crochet in the left chain space. Chain 3. Work 1 double crochet on the left single crochet stitch. Chain 5. Work 1 single crochet in the corner chain space of the previous round. The crocheted stitches after the beginning chain are considered as the edge of this round. Continue with 3 chains for the corner. Now repeat the edge and corner technique. Complete this round. Pay attention, adjacent edges first and last single crochets are worked in the same chain space. After completing the last edge, chain 1. Make a half double crochet to join in the starting single crochet. Round 6 is completed. Next, crochet round 7. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet in the bottom chain space. Work 5 double crochets in the left chain space. Work 1 double crochet on the stitch. Work 3 double crochets in the 3 chain space. Work 1 double crochet on the stitch. In the chain space and double crochet on the other side. Work stitches symmetrical to the right side. Finally, make 2 double crochets in the corner space of the previous round. We consider the crocheted stitches as the edge. Check the number of double crochets. The turning chain counts as 1 stitch. Next, chain 3 as the corner. Continue alternating crocheting the edges and corners. Complete this round. Pay attention to the placement of stitches at the beginning and end. After finishing the last edge, chain 1. Then make 1 half double crochet to join on the beginning chain. Complete this corner. The 7th round is done. Continue to crochet the 8th round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Make 1 double crochet in the chain space below. Skip 2 stitches on the left side. Crochet 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Treat these 3 double crochets as 1 leaf. Skip 2 stitches on the left side. Crochet 1 leaf in the next stitch. That is, crochet 3 double crochets in the same stitch. Another leaf is completed. Continue skipping 2 stitches below. Crochet 1 leaf. Crochet 5 more leaves. Once completed, skip 2 stitches and leave unworked. Crochet 2 double crochets in the corner chain space of the previous round. Treat the crocheted stitches as the edge. Next, crochet 3 chain stitches as the corner. Continue alternating crocheting edges and corners. Finish this round. Pay attention to the placement of stitches at the beginning and end. After completing the last side, chain 1. Then make a half double crochet to join in the beginning chain. Complete this corner. The 8th round is done. Finally, crochet the 9th round. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Crochet 2 single crochets in the chain space below. Crochet 1 single crochet in the beginning chain. Pick up stitches, and work single crochets correspondingly. Continue all the way down to the stitch before the corner. Reach the corresponding position. Make 2 single crochets in the corner chain space. We consider the crocheted stitches after the beginning chain as the edge of this round. Continue with 3 chains for the corner. Repeat the edge and corner technique below. Complete this round. Pay attention that adjacent edges first and last single crochets are worked into the same chain space. After completing the last corner, slip stitch to secure in the starting stitch. The 9th round is complete. Measure the motif's dimensions at this point. Compare them with the chart specifications. If there's a significant difference, adjust your tension and recrochet to avoid affecting the finished product's size. Once the dimensions fit properly, chain 1 to secure. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail and cut off. Pull tight. On the wrong side, weave in along the texture. You can weave in a few extra stitches. One motif 1 is completed. Crochet other motif 1s using the same method. Pay attention to keep the size consistent. Check the color scheme against the motif joining diagram. Complete them all. That concludes the crochet instructions for motif 1. Next, let's learn motif 2. Use the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is a 4DC bobble stitch. Treble crochet. Watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, cast on with an adjustable magic ring. Casting on is complete. Start crocheting the first round. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Crochet 8 single crochets into the ring. Complete by slip stitching into the first stitch. If you do not know where the very first stitch is, you can also count stitches from back to front. Trim excess yarn tails. The first round is complete. We continue with the side with clearer texture as the right side. Move on to round 2. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain into the first stitch of the previous round. That is, the slip stitch insertion point. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 1. Pick up stitches, and work single crochets correspondingly. Chain 1 as a bridge between single crochets. Complete this round. After finishing the last chain stitch, join with a slip stitch at the starting stitch. Round 2 is complete. Next is round 3. The crochet method is similar to round 2, only the number of chain stitches as intervals is 2. Everyone complete it. Now work round 4. First, work 1 slip stitch in the left chain space. Do not tighten the slip stitch. Move the yarn to the chain space position. First, work 1 special bobble stitch with 4 double crochets. Chain 2. Then work 3 incomplete double crochets in the same space. Yarn over, insert, draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. First stitch completed. Continue to the second stitch. Yarn over, insert, draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Second stitch completed. Make 1 more stitch. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. 1 special 4 DC bobble stitch is completed. Next, work 7 chain stitches. On the left chain space, make 1 4 DC bobble stitch. First, make 4 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The 4 DC bobble stitch is completed. Later referred to as bobble stitch. Continue with 7 chain stitches. Next, work bobble stitch into the chain space correspondingly. 7 chain stitches as transition between them. Complete this round. After the last bobble stitch is completed, work 3 chain stitches. On the stitch where the special bobble stitch began, work 1 treble crochet, yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Treble crochet completed. The 4th round is also completed. Next, work the 5th round. Make 3 beginning chains. Work 2 double crochets into the chain space below. Two chain stitches. Work 1 single crochet into the next chain space. 2 chain stitches. And 1 single crochet. 2 chain stitches. And 1 single crochet. 2 chain stitches. And 1 single crochet. 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 And 1 single 2 chain stitches. Work 3 double crochets into the adjacent chain space. Consider the crocheted stitches as the edge. Continue with 3 chain stitches as the corner. Continue alternating crocheting edges and corners. Complete this round. Pay attention to the placement of stitches at the beginning and ending. After completing the last side, 1 chain stitch. Make a half double crochet to join in the beginning chain. Complete this corner. Round 5 is completed. For rounds 6 to 9, refer to the pattern and crochet in rounds the corresponding stitches. Pay attention to finishing with a half double crochet to join. Finish the last round with a slip stitch join. After completing, put together with motif 1 to check. The 2 motifs should be roughly identical in size. If there's a significant difference, adjust your tension and recrochet to avoid affecting the joining appearance. Crochet motif 2, using the same method. Pay attention to keeping the size consistent. Everyone complete it. Up to this point, motif 2 is explained. Next, learn motif 3. Use the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. No new stitch techniques or methods are used. Simply refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. When crocheting, pay attention to the motif being too small. Complete it on your own. That concludes the explanation for motif 3. Next, learn motif 4. Similarly, use the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch the demonstration. Casting on and the first round. The technique is identical to motif 1. Complete it yourselves. The swatch here I've already crocheted. Next, crochet the second round. Make 3 beginning chains. Insertion point of the slip stitch from the previous round. Then make 2 double crochets. Two chains. Skip 1 stitch on the left side. Work 1 double crochet in the next stitch. 2 chains. Consider the crocheted stitches as a group. Repeat this group's technique. Complete this round. Pay attention, skip 1 stitch between adjacent groups. Join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. Round 2 crocheting finished. Continue crocheting the third round. Make 3 beginning chains. Work 5 double crochets in the left side stitch. Work 1 double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Two chains. Skip the left chain space. Work double crochets at the stitch position. 2 chains. Consider the crocheted stitches as a group. Repeat this group's technique. Finish this round. Join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. The third round is completed. For the remaining rounds, follow the demonstrated method. Simply refer to the chart for crocheting. After completing each round, join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. Pay attention to fit well the size of the piece. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture of the wrong side of the fabric. Complete it. Crochet motif 4, using the same method. That concludes the explanation for motif 4. Next, learn motif 5. Start with the chain ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is DC3 together in 1. Now, let's show starting chain and the first round. The crochet method is identical to motif 2. Complete it. The swatch is already completed here. Now crochet round 2. Make 1 beginning chain to start. In the first stitch of the previous round, work 1 single crochet. 5 chains. Pick up stitches correspondingly to work single crochets. 5 chains as transition between single crochets. Complete this round. After completing the last single crochet, work 2 chains. Work 1 double crochet in the starting stitch to finish. Round 2 crocheting completed. Continue to crochet round 3. Make 3 beginning chains to start. Pick up the double crochet underneath. Work 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 single crochet. Left chain space. Work 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets. One half double crochet, 1 single crochet. We consider this chain space crochet stitch as a group. Next, repeat this group technique in each space. Complete this round. After completing this last group, work 1 single crochet in the starting space, 1 half double crochet, then slip stitch in the beginning chain. Round 3 is completed. Next, work round 4. First, make a special DC3 bobble. Chain 3. Then in the slip stitch position of the previous round, work 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. 1 special DC3 bobble is completed. Continue with 3 chain stitches. First, work 3 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The DC3 bobble is completed. Continue with 4 chain stitches. On the left side group of stitches, in the middle double crochet stitch, work 1 single crochet. 4 chain stitches. Treat the middle single crochet and the chains on both sides as an edge. Next, on the following group of stitches, in the middle double crochet stitch, work 3 DC3 bobbles, with 3 chain stitches between them. Consider the stitches worked on this stitch as a corner. Continue alternating crocheting edges and corners. Complete this round. After finishing the last edge, at the insertion point of the slip stitch from the previous round, work another DC3 bobble. Three chain stitches. Then slip stitch into the first stitch. Round 4 crocheting is finished. For the remaining rounds, refer to the pattern chart for the corresponding number of double crochets. Crochet chain stitches between double crochets. Finish each round with a half double crochet join. Join the final round with a slip stitch. After completing, pay attention to check the dimensions. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail and break the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. This completes motif 5. Crochet other motif 5's using the same method. Make sure to keep the size consistent. Complete them all. That concludes the explanation for crocheting motif 5. For the following motif 6, use the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds. Just follow the chart for the stitch sequence. That completes the explanation of the motifs. All motifs have been completed. Next, proceed with sewing. First, refer to the pattern. Arrange the motifs correspondingly and sew them together. Divide it into horizontal sewing and vertical sewing. Watch my demonstration of the specific sewing method. For the swatch, I'll demonstrate using any 4 motifs as an example. Start with horizontal sewing. First, take the corresponding color yarn. When taking yarn, remember not to exceed 1 meter, to avoid inconvenience during sewing. Position the motifs correctly. Be mindful of the placement to avoid mistakes. Use the whip stitch method. Place the motifs with wrong sides together. Right sides both facing outward. First connect this corresponding side. Fasten and weave in ends on the wrong side edge. Locate the corner position of the motif. For chain stitches, pick the middle half stitch at the highest point. For stitches, pick the back loop of the middle stitch. That is the two strands closest to the stitch. Insert the hook and whip stitch. You can sew an extra time to secure. Then pick approximately corresponding half stitches, sew evenly. When encountering stitches, pick the back loop of the stitch, match and sew together. Don't sew too tight, nor too loose. When stitch counts don't match, on the side with fewer stitches, sew twice in one stitch. Sew normally on the other side. If this side has fewer stitches, you can sew an extra time at this position like this, or skip a stitch on the side with more stitches. Pay attention to adjusting as you sew. The finished piece should be flat and neat without gaps. When encountering chain stitches, continue picking half stitches to sew. After sewing, take another pair of motifs. Pay attention to the placement of motifs and color scheme. The swatch here is random. Continue sewing. Slightly tighten at the seam position. Finish the corner by sewing the middle stitch at the end. Thread to the wrong side and tie off and weave in the ends. This completes the horizontal section. Now sew the vertical section. Sew using the previous method. At the position where 4 motifs meet, pick the middle stitch and sew corresponding stitches together. If there are large gaps here, you can sew a few more stitches. Just make sure no gaps remain. Continue sewing. Follow this method for the rest. Refer to the motif assembly diagram, match and sew all motifs together. Up to this point, the sewing demonstration is complete. Finally, add the edging. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise around the assembled motifs. The new stitch technique used is DC2 puff. Watch me demonstrate the crocheting method, R1. Here I continue to demonstrate with a swatch. Locate the top right corner of the assembled motif. Join yarn in the corner space. Chain 1. Make a single crochet in the same stitch. Pick up stitches and work single crochets correspondingly. When reaching the corner chain space, first make 2 single crochets in the right side chain space at the sewing position. Then make 2 single crochets in the left chain space. For different motifs, the single crochets at the sewing positions vary. Pay attention to follow the chart. Continue picking up stitches, and work single crochets correspondingly. When encountering chains, make the corresponding number of single crochets in the chain spaces. Skip stitches at certain edge positions of some motifs. Refer to the chart for exact insertion points. Adjust according to actual situation if needed. Keep the total stitch count unchanged. After finishing single crochets, check the stitch count. Now we're at the corner position. Chain 3. Then continue with single crochets. The number of single crochets on each side is identical. Finish with 1 chain stitch. Make a half double crochet to join in the first stitch. The first round is complete. Now I'll explain how to crochet the remaining rounds. Round 2 continues crocheting in rounds with the same yarn from round 1. At the edge positions, work the corresponding number of double crochets. Chain as a transition between them. The number of skipped stitches between double crochets varies. The exact insertion points are marked on the chart. Pay attention to follow the chart for crocheting. The chain spaces at the 4 corners. Work 2 double crochets in each. 3 chains and 2 double crochets. At the last corner, chain 1 and make a half double crochet to join. For the remaining rounds, always work double crochets into the stitches, and chain spaces from the previous round. Chain the corresponding number of chains, as a transition between them. Some rounds have half double crochets at specific positions along the edge. The number of double crochets at corner positions varies. All endings are joined with a half double crochet. At the end of the final round, join with a slip stitch. The last round also includes a new stitch technique. DC2 puff bobble stitch. Next, I'll continue demonstrating this new stitch technique using this swatch. First, work 1 double crochet. 2 chain stitches. DC2 puff bobble stitch. First, pick up the front loop of the double crochet stitch. And the left side thread. Work 2 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The DC2 puff bobble stitch is completed. Continue to work 1 double crochet in the next stitch. 2 chain stitches. DC2 puff bobble stitch. First, pick up the front loop of the double crochet stitch and the left side thread. Work 2 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the DC2 puff bobble stitch. Refer to the chart to finish it. This edging round is explained, and the whole blanket process is explained. If you have unclear parts during crocheting, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.